Libra, you are represented by the Two of Cups and the King of Swords. So the King of Swords could very well be you. This is air energy. Could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this king. So you want to deal with your partnerships in a more effective manner. You may be making some decisions about how you feel about partnership. And in some cases, maybe you're cutting certain people off, or you're trying to make a judgment and be fair and what's equal in the relationship. So you're very concerned with fairness and acting carefully and considering your decisions and really showing your strength of character. However, you may be more analytical toward relationships right now, using more of your head than your heart. Maybe you're out of touch with your feelings. So for some of you, you may find a partnership confining or restrictive, and you don't want any kind of limitations put on you by a partner. Or maybe you're afraid of being intimate with another person. For some of you, maybe you're involved in some kind of legal situation where you need somebody to represent you or make a decision about your partnership. Maybe this is an agreement you have with another person or something that's legally binding, where you're involved with people who will make a decision, like an attorney or a judge. It could be that, you may be very aggressive or dealing with somebody who is. This is somebody who is very commanding, there's a strength in their ability to think and solve problems. Maybe you're getting some advice for your relationship or partnership. So you're trying to be very logical. You're trying to think in linear terms about your relationship. Maybe you're working on some problems you have within a partnership. And, hopefully you or the partner is not becoming anxious and then coming up with some kind of scheme or being, sarcastic as a means of finding relief within the relationship. It could be that you're having a lot of stimulating conversation with your partner. And normally, you're not jealous. Maybe there's a lack of sensitivity, in fact, because of that difficulty in expressing self on an intimate level. There could be some clumsy expression. You want to say certain things, or maybe you don't know how to say them. But if your partner challenges you, you are a worthy opponent. So for some of you, you're very interested in forming a partnership, and you may be going, very determined to do that. But you are reluctant in some way to express yourself. Maybe you don't want to make that first move. And maybe this is somebody that you feel a mutual attraction for. Or maybe you formed a partnership and they're not long lasting. Or you could be, again, connecting to somebody who is giving you some information in relation to a partnership. And once you receive that information, you're finished. Now, for some of you, you're having difficulty within the relationship because you're sending off mixed signals to one another. Maybe you say one thing and you do something else. Maybe there's some unreliability. Again, there could be some selfishness or some sarcasm. Maybe somebody's making some poor judgment. There could be situations where, there's very tit for tat. You did this to me, and so now I'm going to get back at you for doing this. So somebody may be very severe or opinionated. Maybe one of you wants to be in charge, or there's some aggressiveness in your communication. And again, some of you may be tied up in some kind of legal situation. Now, this may be tied to some kind of message, and maybe there's an opportunity. So you're making some decisions about an opportunity to connect with another person. And, you want to be involved in something where it's fair, where there's an equal balance of give and take. And this may be a period where you feel very loyal and very devoted to your partner. Or, again, you may feel a sense of cynicism. You're starting to become suspicious of your partner's motives. And maybe you're looking at this person and maybe you want to cut off this relationship because at one time you were so enchanted with this person and now you're thinking, why? So there's an opportunity to form a partnership, and it depends on you. It allows you to create some beneficial changes if you decide to take the initiative. Perhaps you're getting some messages. Again, it could be some mixed signals, or there's some hesitancy to speak, but you could be getting some revelations from some hidden sources, or maybe you have greater self-awareness because you're listening to your intuition and perhaps trying to get in greater touch with your true emotions or your feelings. Now, the romance is characterized by the High Priestess and the Ace of Wands. So you are making some decisions, and maybe this is about a platonic relationship or a relationship where there's a lot of projection, perhaps somebody that you have greatly idealized in some way. And your relationship is undergoing some kind of reconstruction. Maybe there's something going on behind the scenes. There is some kind of secretive element to your relationship that may tie to past conditioning or some emotional thought patterns from the past. Maybe you're getting some counseling or some advice. This could be somebody that is giving you some information that you didn't have so that you can make this fresh start. Or again, you could be very passionate and attracted to somebody. Maybe they don't know. There's some hesitancy in telling them how you feel. So something could be going on behind the scenes that may not be revealed as of yet. And there's some kind of opportunity, again, that you can take the initiative to open, but it does have some kind of conditions or strings to it. And so you're having to look at whether it's a valid proposition for yourself. So you are reevaluating a belief, a promise, a goal, an objective, and you're rethinking it to see if it is important to you and if it's valid. Now, negatively, you could be overthinking something. You could be super analytical. You're not in touch with your emotions. You're cut off. Maybe you don't want to be sexually involved. But positively, you're making an important decision to make this fresh start. So this could be something where you feel a lot of passion. You're inspired to move forward. You feel enthusiastic. And maybe you're making some major changes. There's a new life, a passionate beginning for you. Maybe you are renewing a connection, or you're meeting some new people, or you're in a relationship and you have the opportunity to make some changes, and that relationship is somehow evolving for you. So again, some of you're seeking advice and you're getting some good information about how to make some changes. And there changes in place that are going to change the way you relate to other people. In some cases, if you've decided to, make some adjustments or cut some things out of your life, you may realize that you're better off than you thought, or you're better prepared to deal with a situation. So there's some passionate energy at play, and there's a lot of charisma and magnetism possibly between you and another person that has to be acted on before it fizzles out. This is about being in the moment, being spontaneous. And sometimes it's about being physical, and yet this may not necessarily lead to something that is permanent, or it may not deepen those emotional bonds. This is just about being in the moment. But you are looking at yourself in a different way, and perhaps you're changing your social habits. Maybe you're opening up more to a partner or the possibility of one, or given circumstances, you may be closing off. It could be that it centers around money. Maybe you get some kind of financial boost that allows you feel a greater freedom. You can connect and feel comfortable doing that. Maybe you spend more on a partner, or you feel like you can afford to socialize, or you decide you're going to spoil your partner. And so you're making, a relationship even better because you have the means to do so. Now, negatively, again, this may be a superficial attraction. Maybe it's just physical. Maybe it doesn't have any real depth. Or it could be that your relationship is at risk because of things that are happening outside of the relationship, other people's problems, or again, you start on a connection that you know is ill-suited to grow. Or maybe you, again, make the decision that you're going to suddenly end a relationship, and you do it in a way where neither one of you were really expecting it. So it could be that there's some unfulfilled promises or a lack of passion. Maybe you decide the relationship doesn't carry a romantic quality anymore, or you're not physically attracted. It's just a platonic relationship. Or maybe you don't have any ideas about how to move the relationship forward. You feel some pessimism about that. So it's your desires that are driving the relationship. And it may be tied to your domestic affairs. Maybe, you've made a decision to make a fresh start, and maybe you're experiencing some kind of domestic bliss with your partner. So there's some happy home situations that you're dealing with. You may be making some changes around your home. Maybe you're going to purchase a property, or you're setting up house, or you're redecorating, or you're moving in together. And so there's recognition of perhaps what it takes to create the house or the family situation that you want. Maybe you're making some decisions, again, to pamper yourself at home, create a satisfying home environment, to take care of yourself. Or it could be that, you are recognizing how something has been superficial. You need to go beyond just what's on the surface and look for some inner beauty. Now, why is this occurring?